So in Texas, even though we have a robust film industry, whether it's because of our ingrained cultural wars or the way that people have started to regard art as political, there's generally I find an apathy towards movies and stories about movies. In the comments of articles that I write about the movie industry here, I often find people saying, "Who cares? This has nothing to do with Texas. This is Hollywood. Go back to Hollywood." So I really wanted to find a story that put the lie to that. I wanted to find a place that challenges a lot of our assumptions, where people look at film as a serious art, worthy of contemplation and worthy of discussion. In doing so, I managed to stumble upon the Bosque Film Society. My name is Sean O'Neill, and I'm a writer at large for Texas Monthly, and I wrote Arthouse on the Range. So I found the Bosque Film Society's Facebook page. I'm genuinely not sure how I got to it, other than Googling smallest Texas town with a film society. And so I found this guy who grew up in an oil field, as Western as they come, who is the most passionate fan of Nicholas Reg and Akira Kurosawa. They're headquartered inside this movie theater called the Cliftex, which is the oldest continuously operating movie theater in the state of Texas. It was founded in 1916, so it's actually among the oldest movie theaters in the world.
One of my best friend's grandmother was the lady in the ticket office. My dad brought his dates here, you know, my mom went on dates here, so yeah, it is a very special part of our lives.
At the time that I was researching this story, there was just wave after wave of articles about movie theaters struggling. So to me, here's this movie theater that's survived not only the vicissitudes of the industry, but world wars and depressions and floods and droughts. That it was a symbol of how movies are important, even in a community that you wouldn't necessarily expect that from. The thing about Bosque County and Clifton is, you know, it's not the most culturally equitable place. And there's a lot of challenging those sort of cultural mores that goes into the Bosque Film Society and using film to sort of push against that.
This is an extremely red county. In fact, this most recent election, over 80% voted Republican, basically straight ticket. But they're also artistically minded and well-educated. So they're wanting to explore that realm here in Bosque County.
What Brett and the Film Society are doing is taking this small town that has always looked at movies as sort of nothing but a diversion and entertainment, and asking them to regard them seriously and think about them seriously. So the Bosque Film Society was founded by Brett Voss. He is the founder and the president and basically the driving force behind the Bosque Film Society. Well, one of the best things about this story was getting Brett Voss's backstory, which is a movie unto itself. The first time I saw Brett, he was wearing his signature hat, which is a replica of Indiana Jones's fedora that he's made into his own sort of signature look. He's the son of a Texas oil man who grew up in the Rio Grande Valley and moved to Iran and then Nigeria when he was about 8 years old. He met his wife when they were teenagers. She was there from the Netherlands, and they had this sort of soulmate connection over movies. Brett wanted to be a pro ball player. Eventually, he just became a journalist and a teacher and taught all over the state.
Sophomore year, he was my English teacher. Love him so much. He showed us a lot of cool films when we were in his class, but the essay part, I didn't enjoy writing essays.
Everywhere he went, he seemed to bring his passion for film.
For all my youth, I was just a movie lover. One of my college professors, Charlie Nafis, stretched his students with the idea of watching films that not everybody else is watching and to see film in a different way. And it opened my eyes to film in a way I'd never seen it before.
A lot of kids who grow up in Bosque County and Clifton, like it's either football or farming. But I think Brett challenges a lot of our assumptions, and that's his intention with the Bosque Film Society.
When this opportunity presented itself to have a film society where we could talk about film and look at film and maybe open some other people's eyes to films they've never seen before, it was very exciting for me to be able to get to do that.
It's an uphill battle, for sure.
We're not going to watch all these. It's almost 4.5 hours of film.
That's a lot of film.
If there's one that you want to see part of or whatever, then I want to do that. You want to check out Top Secret Jazz first? Because it's out there.
Yes.
Would you put on number 4 and block 1?
All right, you ready? Yeah.
So when they first started out, the Film Society would program what they called Arthouse nights, and that was more of a warning, just kind of telling people it was not really what they were used to seeing at a place like the Cliftex. One of the first movies at Arthouse nights was Don't Look Now, which is infamous for having one of the most graphic sex scenes ever committed to a mainstream film.
How did that go over?
The attendance of those was not great.
We selected some films, and some of them were a bit on the edgy side, and I didn't do a good enough job of prepping them for what they might see. But I definitely have done a better job of preparing and notifying our potential audience that, yes, there may be adult content in some of these films, and there may be language and whatever. You need to be prepared for that, and if you're offended, don't come, because we're showing it. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Bosque Film Society's 3rd annual Best of the Fest Showcase.
They've brought film festivals into Clifton, which is something that has never existed there in the entire 100 years plus of the Cliftex's existence. You know, the residents around there had never maybe even heard of a film festival before. They'd certainly never sat and watched multiple film shorts by independent filmmakers all in a row.
I was curious. Curiosity killed a cat, right?
I think they've kind of learned how to meet the people halfway. For example, they have the Wild Western Weekend, which is, 3 days of cowboy movies. And in their introductions, Brett will take the time to point out that these mythologies that we cling to sometimes have areas where we should learn from.
People need to look at these films and see them in context. We have a balcony here that was exclusively the place that African Americans watched films back in the day. And in fact, they were required to enter through a different doorway and did not come through the front door like everybody else did. While we're almost embarrassed and ashamed to say that, every chance we get, we remind people that that was the case.
I mean, it's cowardice to not have these discussions, to not challenge these assumptions, which sounds like a tall order, but it really is a more dire situation than it used to be.